So I never leave Costco without coffee.
Yes, I
and
knew it.
gas.
I knew that was going to be the answer. I like every time you talk about Costco coffee, your face kind of lights up in a funny way.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to Didn't I Just Feed You?
A podcast about feeding kids.
Hey, it's Megan. Today we're going to do something a little different. As you might know, Stacy is out this week on vacation with her family. We usually plan ahead for these things, but she was also sick right before getting out of town. So just for fun, this one time we brought in my BFF and longtime colleague, Patty Catalano, to chat with me. Hi, Patty.
Hello. I am so excited to be here. I have been a listener since the beginning, and so I'm just so thrilled to fill in for Stacy while she's out.
Hey, before I formally introduce Patty and grill her on all things Costco, I have a small ask. If you love Didn't I Just Feed You, please share us with someone in your community who you think will love us too. As you know, sharing is caring. And if you would like to join a new community with other people who already love us, and more importantly, who are excited about exchanging kitchen tips, recipes, ideas that help make being the family cook a little easier, then you should join our community. There's a totally free message board, or if you have the means and are moved to help support us in publishing 6 free episodes a month, you can join our supporting membership.
If you do, there are major perks, including 2 additional bonus episodes a month, a quarterly live happy hour with a mega giveaway each time, and more. You can learn about both sections of the community at didn'tijustfeedyou.com/community.
Yay, Patty, we love having you as part of our community. I feel like you were the first person that signed up, actually.
Yay! I didn't get like a certificate or anything like that.
Oh, maybe we can get you a badge or something. We need some Didn't I Just Feed You patches for like longtime listeners.
Or like the little vinyl stickers for our water bottles. My kids are very into
I'm
that.
on it. I'm going to put it on my to-do list. Literally writing it down right now. But for people who might not know, because they're not in our community, where I have talked about you in depth on an episode we did about friendship, and you're also in the community in the comments all the time. I consider you even more of an expert home cook than I am. And yes. Which I noticed, not to put you on the spot here, but you didn't mention about how you have a very fancy degree, basically in home ec, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, my undergrad is in family consumer sciences education, and then I have a master's in culinary science, which is the blending of culinary arts and food science.
So an actual a certified expert. And then weirdly in your career, now you are a Costco shopping expert. I don't know. Maybe I just made you my own personal Costco expert. No pressure. But more than that, Patty is a recipe developer and a food writer. For the past 13 years, she has worked in test kitchens across print, television, and digital media. That's actually where I met her. We worked in the test kitchens for Alton Brown. Her passion is to share recipes that give cooks of all skill levels the tools and confidence to succeed. Her most current work can be found on kitchen.com, where she writes everyday family-friendly recipes, meal plans, and a monthly series about shopping at Costco. See, I didn't just make that up. Patty is the mom of 2 elementary-age kids, Lucy and Gus, and is a reluctant Instagrammer who you can follow for her occasional posts at Fork and Swoon. And we'll link to Patty's columns and her Instagram, so everyone can go follow her in the show notes for this episode. Okay, but so let's get into this. I think I put you on the spot to be a Costco expert because I text you on the regular being should I buy this thing? Should I not buy this thing? For everything from clothes to nail polish, but also when I go to Costco, which is much less than you do, I'm what are the things to buy, which I think people get overwhelmed going into Costco, especially if they're trying to squeeze it in on the weekends. So how often are you shopping at Costco to stock up? And why do you find shopping in bulk works well for your family?
So I think it's really funny that you text me about shopping at Costco, because I think you actually got me into Costco because your brother used to work there. And
That's
so I
true.
used to like take your membership before, like way back in the day. So where I live right outside of Atlanta, I can go like 20 minutes in any direction and there's a Costco. Like, not even kidding. I have 6 Costcos within like my regular, route. So I probably am at Costco every 2 weeks, which is much more than I actually need to be. Part of that is because my husband Vince loves Costco even more than I do.
Oh,
Like
we
he
should have
goes
brought Vince
I
on.
know, I know. If he hadn't been in the office today, he would have had all of the opinions.
Yeah.
So like we just went yesterday because the kids were in school and what else is there to do
Like
during the workday?
a hot
You
midday
know,
date, you and your
midday
husband.
Costco date, smooches over a hot dog and a $1.50 drink.
Yes.
Anyway, no, I'm there like every 2 weeks or so, but when I'm stocking up on like my staple items, it's probably like on a quarterly basis. So like if I'm stocking up on proteins like chicken or ground turkey, things like that, I probably do that on a quarterly basis. The reason why I love shopping in bulk is because I want to take it off of my to-do list. I don't even want to think about whether or not I have chicken or paper towels or eggs. I don't want that to be anywhere near my like weekly to-do list because I just don't have that space in my brain. And so if I know that I've already got a stash of that on hand, then I can just like fill in at Aldi or Trader Joe's or Publix or whatever with like fresh items or specialty items, things like that.
I have a question jumping off of that, which is, do you find, and Stacey and I have talked about this a little bit before, like with a job as a recipe developer, it's a little bit hard to meal plan, but there has been a question in the listeners community about like monthly meal planning. So are you, when you're thinking about those staples, are you thinking about a meal plan or are you just thinking about the things that you know that your family eats on the regular?
I'm mostly thinking about things that my family eats on the regular. I, as organized as of a person that I am, like meal planning is not my forte. Like I usually have the basic ingredients for most meals that I know how to make, off the cuff on hand every week. And so instead of like making a specific meal plan with like I'm going to make this specific recipe, I usually just like make sure that I have the ingredients that I need on hand. And so I know that my family eats, like chicken thighs. I know that we usually eat ground turkey over ground beef. I know often we'll make a pork tenderloin that can make an easy dinner. So I usually end up making sure that those basics are in my fridge and freezer to start. And then I can just like sort of riff from there.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going like once a quarter and stocking up on pantry and freezer staples. When you go on those every 2 weeks, are you buying fresh items? Are you buying like splurgy fun items? What happens in those shops?
So we're not like on a schedule
Yes.
necessarily. So I would say like when we're going every 2 weeks, it's to fill in things that we've used up. So if my kids have gone through a lot of like we buy the block cheddar cheese. So if we've gone through the cheddar cheese, then we'll stock up on that. I buy my coffee there. So that is always on the list if the kids need like school snacks. So it's mostly to like fill in. And then there are some like produce or fresh items that I will buy there.
Okay. I think that's a great follow up to like, is there stuff that you avoid buying? It's like, it makes me happy to hear that you do buy produce there because I think that that's kind of like sometimes a meme on the internet where it's like, if you buy that thing in bulk, your kids will quit eating it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is something you never leave Costco without? I feel like I might know the answer to this. And on the flip side, what is something you never buy in bulk or you bought once and you regret buying?
So I never leave Costco without coffee
Yes, I
and
knew it.
gas.
I knew that was going to be the answer. I like every time you talk about Costco coffee, your face kind of lights up in a funny
Oh my
way.
gosh.
And remember, this was years ago, was when my son Emmett was a baby. You like hosted a little baby sprinkle thing at my house. Am I and you brought coffee and made coffee, and my mom still talks about how she's like, it was such a great cup of coffee. So the secret is in part the Costco coffee. Okay. So always coffee and gas. And then what do you never buy at Costco?
There are a couple things that I won't buy at Costco. I'm never going to say never because I don't like live in absolute land. But I am hesitant about buying snacks there.
Okay.
Because of, the meme. But also because like if there are like I bought this like dried fruit bar. There are several brands of them in Costco right now, but I bought a bag without doing a test run first, and it's still sitting in my basement right now because my kids won't eat it. And I'm like, this is just like a fruit roll up. I don't understand what the problem here is. What I've found for that is Target often carries a lot of the same brands that Costco does, but in smaller packaging quantities. So a lot of times if I've seen something that intrigues me, but I'm not sure if my kids will like, I'll buy like the smaller package at Target, see how they like it, see if they finish it. And then if they do, then I'll go and buy it at Costco, which will usually be like a better unit price and take it off of my to-do list. There are a couple of other things like ground spices. I'm not really sure what the turnover of those are, the potency. So I usually just buy spices in smaller quantities, except for black peppercorns because they're whole and I use pepper all the time. So I will buy that from Costco.
Can I jump in and add, I feel the same way about buying baking powder and baking soda from Costco. Like, I think people think that that's like brilliant, but it is one of those things that loses potency as it sits in your pantry. And like, even as a person who bakes biscuits almost weekly and like makes cookies almost weekly, I cannot go through a Costco thing of baking powder and baking soda fast enough. And then you start to like have things that don't rise and you're like, what, it takes you a minute to figure what is happening here.
Yeah.
So yes, I love that.
I would say unless you're like a person that is using baking soda for like brushing your teeth and scouring your sink, I would definitely, or like deodorizing your fridge, things like that. So yeah, I would also avoid that.
Okay, I know you just gave us like a really great explanation about snacks, but like, do you have a top 5 snacks that you buy for your kids at Costco? I think that's a question that like comes up a lot. Like people want to know what they should buy. And aside from doing like the Target test run, are there any that like you buy regularly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So they're applesauce, and they sell the applesauces in 2 different like forms. When my kids were really little, we did the pouches a lot, but for some reason, like Lucy feels like more grown up now eating the cups. So we have started getting those. Pirate's Booty in the individual bags is a go-to. Cheese crackers like Goldfish or Cheez-Its are always a really great price and never get tired of. The yogurt tubes, so either like the Go-Gurt Simple or Stonyfield, and they do come in like large amounts, but what I do with those is I stick them in the freezer, so that'll like elongate the shelf life. And also, especially if you have little ones, I always like, when my kids were little, I would cut the frozen yogurt tubes in half, and that was like plenty for breakfast for them. And I would, get even more out of it. They also have these like little made good little granola balls.
Oh yeah.
Have you had those? Those are really good. It's like a multi-pack. So I think they have like chocolate chip and mixed berry. So those are great for like sticking in lunch boxes or for midday snacks. They also have, I know Stacy is a big fan of like the kids Z bars, and they have those also in the variety pack with like, I think it's like the iced oatmeal cookie, chocolate brownie, and chocolate chip. So
those are
are
really
my go-tos.
popular in my house right now, the Z bars. So now feel like I need to go to Costco.
Yeah, because they can get expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of expenses, and you mentioned unit price at one point. Talk a little bit to us about pricing at Costco, specifically like how they are one of the few grocery stores who make really explicit clear, like this is the price you're paying, but this is the unit price, and like how does that help you determine what the value or like how inexpensive something is at Costco versus another grocery store?
Yeah. So I don't make all of my decisions necessarily like based on cost. Like some of it is just like my time, some of it is the ease of just like getting a big container of it and, deciding like that whole lazy genius principle of deciding once, like I'm going to buy this at Costco. I'm not going to price shop. That's where I'm at with a lot of the things. But if you look at the price tags at Costco, it'll have, the price for the package. But then up in the corner, you'll also see either like price per ounce or price per item or things like that. And so if you really are interested in doing that comparison shop between, okay, is buying goldfish at Costco less expensive than buying at my local grocery store or other big box store? So what you'll do, because the packaging sizes are different, so you can't be like, oh, this is $10 here, but $5 here, so this must be cheaper. So if you look at the unit price and then compare that to what you've seen at your other stores, that'll tell you, regardless of packaging size, whether or not it's less expensive at Costco or not. Costco's price tags also give you a little bit more information. Not that I necessarily go there for sales, because that is just like really hit or miss and I just don't have time for that. But if the price ends in a 0.97, that means that it's on sale. And then, but the biggest hint is if it has an asterisk in the corner, that means that it's been reduced and they are not going to be restocking it. So, like the saddest moment was when they swapped over from Diamond Crystal kosher salt to Morton's kosher salt. And I happened to be in Costco one day and I saw the asterisk on the kosher salt, and I like literally filled my cart with like 10 or 12 boxes of kosher because it doesn't go bad. And I was like,
this is the place where I buy it.
Where am I going to get my salt? And I haven't gone through it yet, so I haven't had to like.
It is giving me low level anxiety because I've run into that when we lived in Boise. I had a really hard time finding Diamond Crystal, which is my preferred kosher salt. And I like anytime I would find it in store, I would buy it because otherwise I was having to order it online and it was always more expensive because I'm paying for shipping. Mm-hmm. And same thing in Chattanooga, I've had a little bit of trouble finding it. But yeah, that asterisk, huh? It gives us panic.
I know. Like, oh my God, I gotta get it.
Yes. Okay. One more question about pricing and price tags. Are there other grocery stores that provide unit price? Is that something that we can look for, or we just have to do the math on our own?
No, most all grocery stores will give you the unit price also. Sometimes they're kind of funky about like what they deem the unit price to be. Like if they give you not like a price per ounce or like price per item, like a price per baggie or like that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
It does. And it seems less obvious. I think like most people aren't like in most grocery stores, like outside of a Costco, the price tags are much smaller. And so it's a little bit less obvious, like what the unit price is. And you might have to do a little bit more investigating, aka like getting up closer to the price tag.
Yeah,
unit
but
price,
it's always there. It should always be there. Like it's usually just up in the like upper right corner.
Hey, Patty, real quick, let's take a break to hear from this week's sponsor.
Megan, a lot has changed since my boys started solids, but one thing hasn't. Parents are always looking for delicious options that deliver the most nutrition as affordably as possible. We all want what's best for our kids.
Which is why we're so thrilled to share Amara Organic Foods. Their baby foods deliver all of the taste, textures, and nutrients of fresh purees with the convenience of an on-the-go powder.
Yes, powder. Amara is a small company making big changes in the baby food space. When founder Jessica realized that by removing the water content from fresh foods, she could retain all of their nutrients and flavor without having to boil them to death, she partnered with an infant nutritionist to turn these super powders into a less processed, more affordable baby food option.
You just add water, breast milk, or formula to your Amara baby food powder, mix and serve. This allows you to customize the texture of your baby's meal, which is ready in seconds.
All of this and Amara is 100% organic, non-GMO, and plant-based without any added preservatives or sugars. In fact, Amara has 50% less natural sugar than leading brands and still costs less than $2 a meal.
It's no wonder that Amara was voted best baby food by The Bump, Good Housekeeping, and What to Expect.
Learn more at amaraorganicfoods.com/DIJFY and get 25% off their online shop using our exclusive code FEEDYOU25.
That's FEEDYOU25 for 25% off any purchase at amaraorganicfoods.com/DIJFY, short for Didn't I Just Feed You? Okay. Speaking of things that go out of stock, is there a seasonality to products at Costco, or are there things that you wait to come back into stock each season? And specifically, can we talk about any spring and summer items that come into stock at Costco that we have to have?
Sure. So the center section of Costco, you usually have the snacks up front, clothing and shoes, books and gift cards, and then right before you get to the wine is usually the seasonal section. So that's where you'll find all the Christmas gifts, or when they do furniture, or right now in the springtime they have outdoor furniture. They've got soil and bulbs and all the gardening things. So this time of year, there's not a ton of food items right there, unless you're in the market for a grill or a smoker. Sometimes they will have that. So that's sort of food adjacent. But in the spring and summer, I use Costco a lot for getting larger cuts of meat for grilling and barbecuing. So we always pick up St. Louis style ribs. They usually come 2 to a package. So what I do is when I get home, I take them out of the packaging. I season them with salt, pepper, mustard, whatever barbecue rub. Then I wrap that in foil, or I love using the vacuum sealer that I got at Costco for meat. And then I stick that in the freezer.
Okay, that's brilliant. I've never thought to do that before, pre-season.
Oh yeah, because then by the time, while they're thawing, they're soaking up all the seasoning. You don't have to wait until they're thawed to season them. Just they're ready to cook once you're ready to take them out of the freezer. What other cuts of meat do I do in the spring? They sell pork butts, which are great for slow cookers, instant pots, or if you have a smoker. The whole pack briskets, if you're into doing those. Steaks of all kinds. They also sell a beef chub, which I have personally never bought, but if you are a family that loves hamburgers and ground meat and everything, it's a really unattractive packaging of ground meat.
Wait, unattractive how? When you call it a chub, I was picturing something different, but it's a tube.
It's like a tube.
Okay. Is chub the technical term for that?
I think it's called a chub.
Okay. I'm just did not know. I did not know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've never personally bought it, but Vince is very sensitive to ground beef, And so we
Okay.
don't usually choose that.
Okay.
So we're more of a
But
ground
that's,
turkey family.
yes, you said
So
that. But it is good to know that it's there for burgers and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're like, moral of the story, if you're hosting like a big cookout, or if you're responsible for the neighborhood, pool party or whatever, that might be a really, if cost is more important than like your time necessarily,
Yeah.
then that would be a good spot. In the spring and summer, I always go for like individually packaged snacks. During the rest of the year, I try and not use as much individual packaging, but during the summer and spring, when we're like going to different sports practices and games, or trying to quickly pack a pool bag or a beach bag, that's the time to just have it prepackaged and easy to go. Plus, during the summer, if you want to help your kids have a little bit like more autonomy, so you're not playing like snack negotiator every 5 minutes, like
Yes.
having that individual package snack is just like a mental like savior. I say this as somebody who homeschooled her children while working and
Yes.
trying to be a human person in the past year.
Yes.
I always buy the Martin's potato rolls there. They come in a 2-pack for the hamburger and hot dog buns.
They're kind of the best hamburger and hot dog buns.
I figured this out last year, maybe 2 years ago. And I was like, I am a grown adult. I do not need to be buying buns that I do not enjoy eating.
Yes. Or I feel like I get analysis. I love having a brand of something that I love, because
Yes.
otherwise I get analysis paralysis. I'm like, which ones are the good burger and hot dog
Right.
buns? So,
Right. Well,
shout out to
Martin's.
Martin's.
Yes.
Yes.
The final thing for spring and summer are water bottles. They have a couple of different brands in a bunch of different sizes. I think they have Thermoflask and Contigo. I buy the huge ones for myself, and then more reasonable size ones for the kids, so that because by the end of the school year, they've gotten kind of funky, and so just starting fresh with a new water bottle and keeping
Yeah,
it
you're the
filled
one
all
who
summer
turned
long.
me on to getting water bottles there, because our kid, like, and also the other thing, besides them getting grubby at the end of the school year and maybe wanting a couple more, is like we've lost lids by that time. Also, over the last couple of years, our kids have transitioned to different types of water bottles, like simpler ones where they unscrew the cap or whatever. So it's great. Like Costco has them significantly less expensive. And also,
Yeah.
Costco's a really great place for buying if you want to get like nice glass containers for leftovers or for meal prep. They seem to always have those. And like the very classic like Pyrex mixing bowls, which are not maybe summer specific, but like just a great buy.
Yes.
Okay. I think I have one more question for you, which is like, do you have, okay, you did tell us at the top that you go to Costco like during the week, but do you have tips for Costco shopping in general? Like, I think people get a little bit anxious about trying to go on the weekends, and some people can't avoid that. So like, are there best times to go? Anything to know about getting in if they don't have a membership?
Sure.
Like besides borrowing their friends, like
Yeah.
maybe you did for a minute.
So if you can at all avoid it, I would avoid Sundays. Sundays
Okay.
seem to just be like
So much
the
busier.
worst. So
Okay.
busy. But I know that, weekends are the time that a lot of people do all their errands. So I either try and go like right when they open, and they open at a reasonable hour, like about 10 o'clock in the morning. So you can still like wake up and do your morning stuff and then get there when it opens. Or getting there like right before, giving yourself obviously enough time to shop towards the end of the day. Like skip the middle of the day, because it just is chaos,
It's when
especially
everyone
like,
else is there.
yeah, and
Yeah.
especially around lunchtime, because they do have, like the hot dogs and the pizza and everything. So a lot of people will combine their Costco trip with lunch. So avoid lunchtime, unless you're during the week. Like when Vince was in the office more consistently, a lot of times I would meet him there. He would have lunch and we would do our Costco shop, and I would bring the stuff home. obviously that is, works only for like if you have, if you're stay at home or whatever. But another really great time to go is on Friday afternoons. I know that's like a really cool
That's
way to spend your Friday night.
But no one else is. Everyone else has
Nobody
kicked
else
their
wants
weekend off.
to.
Yeah.
Right. So that's also a really great time to go is Friday afternoon because other people are doing other plans, have other plans. I don't know. I don't know who those people are, but apparently that's a thing. So there are a couple of different ways to shop Costco, either without a membership or just getting around it. Instacart and Costco.com, you can shop them without having a membership. You will pay an upcharge. I don't think it's like a flat fee, but they definitely like increase the price per item when you order online or through Instacart. If you are given a gift card to Costco, that sort of acts as a one-time membership pass. But I will also say that there are two levels of membership. The first is just like the standard like gold star level, and it is $60 a year. That just gets you entry. It's pretty straightforward. I have the executive membership, which at this point is $120 a year. There are rumors that it might increase, but you get 2% back from that. So, and you get that in the form of like cash money, like a check or dollar bills.
Yeah. Yes.
And so that's on anything, like from if you buy gas, if you buy tires, if you, do all your grocery shopping, if you buy glasses or prescriptions, all that is included.
Yeah.
And
TVs,
you'll get 2% back of that. Yeah.
Computers, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then you can also, I like love stacking discounts. So we also have a Costco Visa. And then so on top of that, we use that for gas because you get like 4% back on gas at Costco and anywhere else. And then you also get another 2% back at Costco and then, other percentages back on other categories of things. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you buy the executive membership and if you shop there, and even if you just get the bare essentials, it is very likely that you will make back what you spend. And if you don't, I think that they have a like pretty great return policy. And so if you're not happy with your membership, they'll work with you on that.
I feel like that's a brilliant tip.
Yeah.
You know who's going to have a ton of excellent tips for shopping at Costco, excellent bulk product recommendations, our community. If you want to get in on the hot Costco gossip, I say that, which means I'm going to tag you in the threads and make you be an expert there as well. But join for free at didn'tijustfeedyou.com/community. And don't forget, you can get that and more, including those bonus episodes, by joining our supporting membership. You can also keep in touch with us on Instagram, where we are at Didn't I Just Feed You, or by signing up for our newsletter. And of course, don't forget, subscribe to Didn't I Just Feed You wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're already a subscriber, take a minute to leave a rating and a review. A huge thank you for Patty stepping in today, and to our editor, Samantha Gatzik. I'm Megan. Stay sane and well-fed. Until next week.
Be sure to subscribe to Didn't I Just Feed You wherever you're listening. And don't forget to rate and review.